Afternoon, folks. Today's episode of Backyard Grilling with Walter. I'm going to show you how to cook a T-bone steak using a cast iron skillet. Alright, so not everything's done outside. Sometimes you do got to cook inside your house. So let's move over here and show you how it's done. Okay, here we got a 1/2 pound T-bone steak. What I do is I always put paper towels on it for about 15-20 minutes just to soak up any moisture. Alright, and that way it'll be nice and kind of dry. It's still a little moist, but it gets all the blood and juices off of it. Alright, just want to let it sit for about 10-15 minutes. Over here to the side I got my cast iron pot. I already got some oil in there with a paper towel, and you wanted to get it hot to where it starts smoking. And it is starting to smoke a little bit, so now it's time to prepare this. Okay, so today what I'm using is just the Kinder's salt, pepper, and garlic. It's called the blend. Really good, simple. What you're going to do is you're going to spread it all over. Alright. Get it all up in there, push it into it. Okay. Nice and good. Nice and good. What we'll do is we'll bring it over here. We'll put it in the cast iron pan. But right before we do it, I'm going to throw 2 tablespoons of canola oil into the pan. So the pan with a light glaze of oil in it right now, it's starting to smoke. We'll throw this into it, put this in there, and then we'll season the other side once it's in there. And then I will sprinkle just a little bit of rosemary onto it, okay? Just a little bit of rosemary. If you don't like it, you know, leave it off there. I'm a big fan of rosemary. I love the flavor. Love the aroma. Okay, let's move over and cook this bad boy. Okay, so the cast iron pot is nice and hot. I don't know if you can start to see a little bit of the smoke coming off of there. Like I said, we're going to add 2 tablespoons canola oil. Let's throw in a little bit of rosemary into it. Grab your T-bone steak. Make sure you take off your gloves if you're wearing them. This is hot. Alright. Throw it in here. Alright. It does splatter, so be careful. Alright, kind of move it around. That way the oil can get underneath it. You don't want it to stick a whole lot. Set your timer for 2 minutes. Let this cook. Exactly how it is. Alright. Now, I do have the seasoned side up. Alright. I tend to cook one side unseasoned, then I'll flip it over to the side that is seasoned, and then after I flip it, I'll put a little bit more on there because I like that, I don't know, the freshness of the uncooked. So, while it's cooking, you preheat your oven prior to starting everything to 425 degrees. We're going to do 2 minutes on each side. Once your oven's heated, we will move this cast iron pot and everything using a heat resistant glove down to your oven and let it sit for approximately 4 minutes for about a medium rare cook. If you want medium, maybe go 6 to 8. If you got a digital thermometer, you might want to check the temperature to your liking. Alright, I wouldn't suggest really cutting into it. Ideally, when you cook meats, once you're done cooking, you want to let it rest for 10 minutes. That way those juices can reabsorb. So when you cut it, those juices exit the meat. You don't get a chance to reabsorb into it. Alright. So we got about 45 more seconds. Let's skip forward and we'll flip it over. Alright, our 2 minutes has elapsed. Go ahead and flip this bad boy over. Ooh, real difficult here. Do the best you can. Alright. Flip it. Get right back into the middle there, alright? And now, I'm going to throw a little bit more seasoning on the top. Like I said before, let it kind of absorb into those little bit of juices. A little bit of rosemary. Throw some rosemary around the side just for some aroma. And we'll let it cook for another 2 minutes. All right. Okay, our 2 minutes is up. What we're going to do is we're going to flip it one more time. As you can see that there. The oven is preheated to 425. Said grab a heat resistant glove. This cast iron is hot. Alright. You're going to throw it the top shelf of your oven. Set your timer after you turn off the flame for, we'll do 4 minutes, and then we'll check the temperature with this instant read thermometer. All right, so I'm gonna try and get to about 135. I like my steaks medium rare. If you want a medium steak, go about 145. And well done, say 154. All right, so we'll let the time elapse, pull it out, and we shall enjoy. I'm gonna sit here and drink some beer. I'm on my second beer in what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? I don't know. Okay, so 4 minutes is up. We'll open the oven, turn on your thermometer. Just got a little poke. Yeah, she's done. Poking around in there, I got 146 is what I'm reading, so a little bit more than what I wanted, but still gonna be tasty. All right, so pull her out, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it out of the pan, throw it on the cutting board, let it sit for 10 minutes. We'll show you how to cut her up. All right, now that we've taken the T-bone out of the oven, put it on a cutting board, cookie sheet, a plate, doesn't matter. We're gonna let it rest for 10 minutes. That way it kind of reabsorbs some of the juices back into the meat. So you got 10 minutes to spare. What are you gonna do? Well, you just cooked on a cast iron skillet on the stove, probably splattered grease everywhere. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take another shot of peanut butter whiskey, and I'm going to clean the stove up, because nothing worse than at the end of the day your wife coming into the kitchen saying, hey, why is there grease everywhere? So we got 10 minutes to wait, have a drink, clean the stove, do what you got to do, and that way you can enjoy your meal the rest of the night. All right, so steak's been sitting here for 10 minutes. I was going to put on gloves, but then I realized, you know what? I made this for myself, so it's mine, so it's all good. You see all that juice just dripping off of it. Oh, yeah. Lick your fingers, taste it, right? If it's not for you, then obviously don't do it. So take a minute here. I'm going to show you, all right? So what you want to do, cut away this bone, okay? So cut it. I'll fast forward. My sharp knife is no longer really sharp anymore. I've been using it a lot. I got to buy a new sharpener. I took my sharpener and I started sharpening my fishing blades with it. So I can't use that for home cooking no more. Go figure, right? All right, there we go. Let's get this little piece of filet mignon off of here. This is my son's favorite part. Love the little dude, so I'll probably hook him up with it when he gets home. He's over at a buddy's house. Okay, so the reason I cut this up, and I want to show you how to cut it, is the way it was set up, like this. Pretend, let's set the bone over here. I got another plate on the off to the side. You want to cut against the grain, all right? So we'll cut this way, and what I like to do is cut about 1/2 inch strips, okay? 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and as you know before, we went a little high, about 150, so it's medium, still a little red, so it's in between like a medium rare. So in my opinion, it's still perfect. All right, so cut it up. Right? Nothing worse than when you got a plate of food and you're sitting there trying to cut it while you're eating. So do the family a favor. It just takes a couple minutes. Cut it up into little 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch squares, and then serve your meat. Whatever it is you're serving, right? Unless you're serving like chicken legs or something, then obviously they're going to chew it off the bone. But if you got some type of steak, pork chop, cut it up. That way they don't have to mess with it. They can sit down, enjoy it, just use their fork, eat all the goodness. So here you go, folks. Cast iron skillet T-bone steak cooked to perfection, right? So nobody knows, time. I put it for 4 minutes. I should have done 3 minutes. Never cook for time. Always cook for temperature. Like I say, I give you a temperature. If you have an instant read thermometer, you'll get consistency every single time if you hit that mark. So give or take a couple degrees is a lot. So 60 seconds can mean the world when it comes to cooking steaks, beef steaks, and pork chops. All right. If we're on the smoker, we're smoking low and slow. You have some time. You can check it here and there, and you're going to be great. But when it comes to beef steaks, pork chops, you got to be consistent. Check it, check it, check it. All right. So enjoy it. It's great. Cast iron skillet, backyard grill with Walter. Cheers. Bud Light. Have fun. All right.